Questions?
I think they were shooting about 50% from the field with like 14 minutes left, and then they finished the game like 34%. What do you feel like defensively changed as far as what you guys were able to affect them, I guess?
And one media coach came to us and he was like, they shooting the ball way too well. It started to look like kind of what happened at their place. And we just said we're not going to let that happen again. So we started getting to gouts, forcing them to pass, forcing them to shoot over our length and stuff. And they struggled to shoot and finish over our length. And that what happened, cost them to shoot 35%.
Yeah, to piggyback on that, you let teams get easy looks, and the rim looks huge. So we had to shut that down, like AT said, get in gaps, and kind of just stop their momentum. With guys like Cashy Nat and the rest of those guys, he was our main focal point. I feel like he brought the energy to the team, and that was what we needed. We needed that spark, and I feel like we brought it today. That's how we got the turnout we did. But ultimately, we just had to buckle down and get stops. That was the name of the game, stops, rebounds.
Come to the point, obviously we played these guys last week. Obviously, what was kind of the bigger difference going into this game, not playing it at home?
Yeah, pride. Our pride was on the line. They beat us at their crib. They had energy, like I said. They were tougher, if we call them a spade. And ultimately, we just had to buckle down and be prideful about, the Tech brand and what we represent here. Paul Millsap came out and we represented him well. Ultimately, that was just on the line for us, and we couldn't let our fan base and just Tech down. So it was pride.
Basically what he said in one word with toughness, we got out tough like crazy at that place. I mean, we just literally got bullied, just calling it how it is. They just took it at us, and today we took it to them, and we were just out-touching them in pretty much every toughness category there is, and we got the job done. We rebounded the ball very well. Shout out Caden, rebounded the ball very well.
Shout out this guy too, man.
To that point, I mean, you're averaging over close to 8 rebounds a game in league play. It's just like, how much pride have you taken as far as adding that to your game? I know coaches brought that up in multiple sessions with us as far as you've taken a lot of pride in that.
Taking pride in because I don't quite frankly honest, I haven't shot the ball nowhere nearly as what people expected or that I expect for myself. So early on, coaches came to me like, you're not just a shooter, you can do a lot more things. So I felt like rebounds a bit attribute another way I can kind of impact the game. So I just said, I'm going to get every board, every offensive rebound, give us many second chance points we can get, many defense rebounds. So that way I just pride myself getting boards, and if I get bored there, get me going, get my offense and everything else going.
Obviously, you talk about it, Paul Millsap being here. How big is it to, kind of have him around and also be an example of what Latte, legend is for, some of the guys that, aren't old enough to remember the Karl Malone days, but you can remember the Paul Millsap days.
Feels good, just especially getting a win in front of him. And he came in, actually came into the locker room at halftime telling us, don't leave no doubt after this game, when you go home, be like, you did everything you could do to win this game, and that's what we did. So basically, we just played hard for him, for ourselves, and just didn't want to let him down, losing a game like this, especially when he there watching us play.
Shout out Mr. Malone too. He was there on the side.
He was there.
Yeah, had to represent, man.
I'm sure coaches probably brought it up before, but how do you kind of take this energy and this focus like on the road with you guys? Obviously, there's still a lot more to accomplish. How do you kind of take this energy, the rebounding, the toughness, all the things you talked about? How do you take that on the road?
Carryover, man. That's Coach's main word, favorite word, I would say, carryover. You have to carry toughness on the road, and mature teams do that. You look at the Liberties and the good teams in our league, and they carry toughness on the road. And I feel like guys like him, Caden Cooper, we show up every day and work, and we carry that on the road, good things will happen, but it has to be consistent. You are who you are every day. You have to show that. So if we bring that toughness on the road with us, the rest is, to take care of itself.
All right. Thank you guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Shut up. Shut up.
not doing in this one.
I wanted to say-
I think for culture purposes, I think it's a testament to the culture of that organization that New England's back. With a new coach, new players, like I think they've established culture in the front office that is about winning, and I think other organizations should look at that.
All right, Talvin, played this team a week ago, so they were fresh in y'all's mind. How'd you come away with that 9.1 today?
We played tougher than we played all year, and more together, I would say, than we played all year. And I think that reflected in our offensive performance. We moved the ball, we shared it. We had 17 assists on 30 baskets. Like we got the ball out and advanced it up the court. It was shaky at times, but we advanced it in transition. We didn't just dribble the ball, air out the ball. We moved it back and forth. And even though we weren't making threes, I mean, that's who we've been. We have to kind of own that as a team. We dominated the glass with guys like Avery and Caden in there to be able to get second chance opportunities. And those are all the tough things that we do. And then we guarded like we guard.
And then over the last half dozen games, it's been primarily Scooter and DJ doing the scoring. Today they combined for just 15 points, but yet you put up 87. How good is it to see all those contributions offensively?
Unbelievable. But we talked about being selfless and talked about sharing the ball and how we felt like we lost our last game because we were selfish. And so I think the message got across, but now the testament is, can we continue that as these games go on? Can we remember the message? Can we remember what this feeling feels like?
Caden's minutes the last month or so haven't really been there, but today, I mean, we were reminded of what he can bring to the table. I mean, 18 boards, 16 points, 3 steals, 2 I mean, but just the impact that he brought. It would have been probably easy for him just kind of hang his head and say, you know what, I'm not impacting anymore. But he comes out here today and probably the best performance of his time here. I mean,
1,000%. It reminds me to his first month here when we went to Florida. I think he averaged 16 and 14 or something crazy, or 16 and 9 or something at a tournament we went to that we won. And I've always told Caden, when you rebound, when your motor is that of a great rebounder, then everything opens up for you, and it has to be in that order. It can't be in another order. And the last time our fans saw Caden was when we were down 19 in Middle Tennessee. And after that, we had to come to Jesus. And if you look at the stats, he wasn't in the top 20 in rebounding in our conference. When you're not doing what you can do to help the team, then it's my job to make decisions. And we started playing good ball without him. But then Caden had an unbelievable week of practice. And in that week, I told him, I hope you're ready to play. But it has to be the way you practice. And this is the result. And I told him, for us to be who we want to be as a team, you have to be a part of that. But you got to choose that. And he chose it. I'm proud of him. Like you say, he could have hung his head, but he didn't. And he was a bulldog today, and I hope everybody remember that. And then 18 boards on Paul Millsap Day ain't a bad day.
Obviously, to that point, Sir Isaac as well, hadn't really seen heavy minutes, but today, really in the second half, really made every big bucket and every big moment, throughout to help win this game.
Unbelievable. I mean, with the week he's had, I mean, I know people don't know, he just had a daughter yesterday. And so he has a daughter yesterday, and he comes out and he plays out of his mind. Sometimes that changes your why, and I want him to remember that because you have a different why now. You have to wake up every day thinking about somebody else. And I want him to remember how he played today and remember how special it probably felt to him to really bring another life into this earth and then come out and do something that you do every day at the best of your ability and then get a win with this team and with his brothers in there. So I'm really proud of him.
Avery Thomas averaging close to 8 rebounds a game in league play. I mean, just how is you kind of seeing him, I guess, establish himself as a playmaker, maybe outside of the maybe shooting efficiency that you maybe expected?
Yeah, he hasn't shot the ball well. I agree. But, it's ironic. I told DJ when he passed up a wide open layup in transition, tried to kick it and turned it over. I said, DJ, what's wrong with you? And I know we're talking about Avery, but I'm going to get there. I said, DJ, what's wrong with you? He said, I haven't been scoring. I said, your confidence cannot come from your offense. That's a bad way to live because you shoot the ball maybe 3 times. It's about 7 seconds in the grand scheme of things, maybe 3 seconds. And catch it and shoot it, probably a second. And your confidence comes from that. We got 39 minutes and 50 seconds of the game. Well, on the flip side, Avery is rebounded. And when the shot hasn't gone in, he's been able to rebound the ball at a high clip, and he's been able to score. He had 15 and 11 tonight, and that would have been a great night if Caden Cooper wouldn't have went crazy. That would have been the best player on the court. And so he's found a way to contribute to this team without the ball going in and without offense being good, and I think that's growth.
Obviously you said something
No doubt. We were tougher. But I think where we have to go is that we have to be tough every day without getting punched in the mouth. Because at some point, if you keep letting people punch you, it's going to be a knockout blow. And so we keep letting these teams punch us on the road, and then we come back and we play great at home. We got to be able to throw the first blow and then be able to come back home and protect our home court. Because ultimately, for us to advance and do what we have to do, we have to be like this every night. It can't be okay, we didn't play well, our backs are against the wall, now we got to, pick it up and play well today. We have to be this team every day, and that's where we're growing to, and it's my job to fight for that every day.
When you look at a box score that says 1 of 17 from 3, I feel like most people would kind of say like bad shots and just things. I feel like most of the shots were pretty decent. I mean, they just weren't falling. What's kind of the message, I guess, to those 3-point shooters of we've shown that we can hit those. It's just a matter of can we get them in bunches, I guess.
Your confidence comes from your work. So if you're not making shots, you got to get in the gym. And it can't be I'm making shots today, I get in the gym today, tomorrow, and then I don't make shots next time because I'm not in the gym again. Like, this is a season that is a long season. As a basketball player, there is no time to rest. There's no time off. There's no time to get tired to our last game. And so I challenge our team every day to get in the gym, because if you ever sat in practice, we don't shoot it this bad in practice. But when we play harder than we play in the games in practice comes the problem. So we have to rev ourselves up, play harder in practice, get them to that level. And maybe that's my fault that I don't get them playing that hard in practice to compete that hard, so that we can get game shots and game reps, and then they can do that on their own in their free time.
Obviously today was, Paul Millsap Day, and obviously, how big was it to have somebody, like Paul Millsap, where some of these guys, weren't really old enough to see the Carmelo, but they were able to see Paul Millsap. How is it to have him be the example?
Man, how about this? We're not playing our best. We're fouling a lot. We're doing a lot of things at halftime. And Paul walks in the locker room. And you should have saw our guys' faces. It was like, this is real. Like, he's really here. He's not just a banner. He's a person. And he spoke to the team. We went out and probably had the best half of basketball offensively that we had. And we probably had the most dominant rebounding numbers that we had to this point. I just think it's good for them to see people that have done it before them, to actually know that it's realistic. If I do the things I'm supposed to do, success as a person can follow. It might not be the NBA for a lot of these guys, but a guy that left it all here, and a guy that loves and bleeds Tech Blue, that they can do the same, and they're a part of that same fraternity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the second time this season you've won a game with only one made.